The climate change debate has been raging. In fact, it's been downright ferocious at times. And some people have argued, well, this is just a tax grab, or maybe they're trying to force me into spending money on energy sources I just don't have to. There are also people who say, well, look, the climate has been changing for millions of years, so what's the big deal? And they're quite correct. Climate has been changing, but it's the rate of change that has scientists really concerned. And when you think of the role that plants play on our planet, they are the lungs of the earth. They take carbon out of the atmosphere and they put oxygen back in. And if you take plants away, which we have done, 70% of the rainforests, 70 to 80% of the vegetation around our cities, and a similar situation with our farming communities where we're producing the food that we eat. Well, these plants being gone means that we're not taking that carbon out. So there's more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and that's why it's heating up. It was only a few hundred years ago that we got really smart and we learned how to burn carbon fuels, and the effect was a bit like this. Eventually, the clouded water is nothing like the pure clear water that we started with. Plants' roots filter water moving through the ground, leaving it pristine and pure to flow into our streams. The leaves filter the air, doing exactly the same thing. What scientists are saying is we'll get to a point where we can't breathe the air anymore, something many Australians living on the East Coast already understand. So what can you do? Well, planting trees is vitally important. Adding 16 medium-sized trees will take the equivalent of one family's carbon emissions out of the atmosphere per year. Have you got 16 trees in your garden? It's not hard to plant them around the perimeter of your property, and they don't have to be big. They could be fruit trees. So the question remains, is climate change real? And I would say, on evidence, absolutely. And should we be worried about it? Absolutely. But you might disagree. I want to ask you this question. What if we changed to a low carbon environment? We used energy from the sun and from wind power, stored it in batteries, and had an endless supply of energy. Would it make a difference? I think the answer's obvious.